Hey guys, it's Jessie. So, I got a lot of books to share with y'all from what I got from Christmas, so let's just jump right into it. And I'm not going to be explaining what all these books are about. I'm just going to say a few words of the main things of the book, then continue on because that's how many books I have. Yeah. But let's start with the box sets I got. So the first box set I'm going to be sharing with y'all is the Grisha Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. And all I know about this is that it's like a Russian fairy tale or something like that. I know it takes place in Russia, that's all I know. The next box set I got is also by Leigh Bardugo, and that is Six of Crows Duology box set. Okay, on to the books. Well, that was books too, but they were a box set, but you'll know what I mean. So the first book I'm going to be sharing with y'all is Prisoner of Night and Fog by Blankman. And I know that this is during the time of the Hitler era, and she's the niece of Hitler. And then there's a reporter, journalist, and her get into a little bit of feelings. Yeah, and I think this is a duology or I think it's a trilogy. Next is Starflight by Melissa Landers, and all I know that is this takes place in outer space, as you can tell. And I think it's a space pirate or something like that. The main character has a record. She's got into some trouble, wants to have a fresh start. So she takes this guy as hostage or something, and they work together, and they're not the likely pair because they weren't friends in high school. Something like that, but it's Melissa Landers, so I know it's gonna be good. Because I love her Alienated series, so good. Next is The Girls by Cline, and I know this is about the Charlie Manson cult era, where this girl, she sees these other girls in a park that looks so free and full of life, and she wants what they have, and I guess she gets into a cult. But this is of the Charles Manson cult era, and that's very intriguing to me. So yeah, it's about the girls of that era, as you can tell by the title. Next is Sharp Objects by Gillian Flynn. She was in a psych ward, and she goes back home to her hometown, and there's this murder of these two girls that she's trying to solve, and she has a hypochondriac mother and a half-sister who she finds herself identifying with the victims that she's researching of the murders about. So, sounds very interesting. Next is Extraordinary October by Diana Wagman. This has trolls and fairies, and this girl named October. Well, I think her mom is a troll and her father is the fairy prince, and she's the bargain deal of a war between the fae and the trolls, but she doesn't know she is until she comes of age, I guess, and there's a love triangle. And you know me, I love my fairies. So excited to read this. And look at the cover, it's really pretty, isn't it? Look at that. The next 4 books I'm going to be showing y'all are part of a 4-book series, and that is Mephisto Convent series by Trinity Faegen. This is the first book in the series. This is the second book in the series, I believe. The Mephisto Kiss. The Mephisto Mark. As you can tell, I have trouble saying this title. And Crazy for You. And it's weird because this one has Stephanie Feagan on it, and the other 3 books in the series are by Trinity Faegen. But yeah. So the first book is about a girl, the main girl, trying to find out who murdered her father, and to get answers she pledges her soul to Arix, I think that's his name. She unlocks a secret that puts her in grave danger, of course, and she's an Annabo, which is a daughter of Eve, and Arix is her greatest threat. And a son of hell, immortal and bound to earth, Jax, redemption, so he's trying to protect the main girl, her name's Sasha, from Arix and all danger. And I remember reading this a long time ago, but I forget what it's really was about, so it's gonna be Embrace series all over again. Next is The Murmurings by Carly Ann West. Voices in her head are not her own. So it's a psychological thriller, I'm guessing. Everyone thinks Sophie's sister, Neil, went crazy. After all, she heard strange voices that drove her to commit suicide. But Sophie doesn't believe that Nell would take her own life, and she's convinced that Nell's doctor knows more than he's letting on. As Sophie starts to piece together Nell's last days, every lead ends in a web of lies. And the deeper Sophie digs, the more danger she's in, because now she's hearing the same haunting whispers. Sophie's starting to think she's going crazy too. Or worse, that maybe she's not. The next book is The People of Sparks by Jeanne DuPrau. I really need to know how to pronounce her name, but this is the second book, City of Ember 4-book series. I have read City of Ember, which is in my December wrap-up, so go check that out. But City of Ember is a town, or city, underground, and it's crumbling, and Paullina and Dune are trying to figure out how to escape or what's really going on, because nobody knows really, and everything is like falling apart. And they know that there's something else out there besides the city underground that they were in, but they don't know that they're underground. So yeah, but this is the second book in the series. Next is Before I Fall by Lauren Oliver. So the main character, Sarah, is popular, she's beautiful, and she has the perfect boyfriend, but on Friday, February 12th is her last day. And she always wakes up with the same day repeating itself, kind of like Groundhog's Day, the movie. And she has to like find out like what's happening, what's going on, to solve the mystery. So next is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken, and the only thing I know about this is time travel. The main character, she's a violinist, and she has a cousin who has a ship, and she's the passenger, as you can tell from the title, on her cousin's ship that time travels, I guess. That's all I know about this book. But yeah. Next is Never Fade by Alexandra Bracken, and this is the second book in the Darkest Minds trilogy. And since this is the second book in a series, I can't say what it's about because I haven't even read the first one yet, so yeah. Next is Arcana Rising by Kresley Cole, and this is the fifth book, or as I would like to say, the last book in the Arcana Chronicles series, but there is a book in between Endless Night and this book, but I don't really count that as a part of the series because it's just a novella of all the different characters of what happened to them before the apocalypse basically came, so I don't really count that as the fourth book, so I count this as the fourth book, but really it's the fifth book in the series, you get my drift. But yeah, I'm so excited to read this. Y'all know Poison Princess is one of my favorite series and books ever. It's amazing. It's totally different from any other book I read. It's amazing, and I can't wait to read this, but look how small it is. I don't want it to end. Next is The Bronze Horseman by Paullina Simons. And all I know is that it takes place in Russia during the Hitler era, but Hitler attacks Russia, and there's a Russian soldier, and the main character, I think, falls in love with the Russian soldier, and all the chaoticness about Hitler attacking them, and yeah, this is a very heavy book, by the way. Next is Obsidian by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Probably the last person on the bandwagon to read this, but all I know is that this is a love romance story with an alien involved, and he's pretty hot, so you don't need no more convincing for me to read it. Because you know, I love me alien romance and outer space stories. Next is The Geography of You and Me by Jennifer E. Smith. And these two lovers get stuck in an apartment complex elevator when there's a blackout, and when they get released or like escape from being stuck in the elevator, they walk along the streets. I think it's New York City, and when there's still a power outage and that they can see the stars in the sky because there's no power in New York City, so you can see the stars obviously, and yeah, they get to know each other and possibly fall in love, all that good stuff. The next two books I have are a duology, I believe, and that is The Wrath and the Dawn and The Rose and the Dagger by Renee Hadi. I apologize because I know I'm butchering her name, But I know that this is a Thousand Nights retelling where the king, he always has like a wife every single day, but like the next day the wife, bride, always ends up murdered, and the main character, her best friend, is like the next bride or wife in line for the king, and her best friend gets murdered and dies, and she volunteers, I guess, to go next as his wife to see what's happening and possibly try to kill him. But she's trying to figure out what is going on about that. That's all I know about this, and I don't know anything about this because it's the second book in the series and I don't want to spoil myself or any of y'all, so yeah. Oh my god, guys, so we're at the 2 last books I got for Christmas, and they're part of a trilogy, well, the last 2 books in the series, and they are The Shattered World by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner, and Their Fractured Light by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. And these are like the second and third book in the series, but they don't really go along with the first book, which is like These Broken Stars, but I think these two connect together. So yeah, all I know is that it's about outer space and romance, basically. Jubilee, Chase, and Flynn Cormac should never have met. Leigh is captain of the forces sent to Avon to crush the terraformed planet's rebellious colonists, but she has her own reason for hating the insurgents. Rebellion is in Flynn's blood. His sister died in the original uprising against the powerful corporate conglomerate that rules Avon with an iron fist. These corporations make their fortune by terraforming uninhabitable planets across the universe and recruiting colonists to make the planets livable, with the promise of a better life for their children, but they never fulfill their promise on Avon, and decades later, Flynn is leading the rebellion. Desperate for any advantage in a bloody and unrelenting war, Flynn does the only thing that makes sense when he and Leigh cross paths. He returns to base with her as prisoner, but his fellow rebels prepare to execute this tough-talking girl with nerves of steel. Flynn makes an other choice that will change him forever. He and Leigh escape base together, caught between two sides of a senseless war. Yeah, that's basically what that's about. And this book, I think, continues on from the second book because they're the same characters in it, so I'm not going to spoil myself because I almost started reading the description, but then I saw the main characters from this, so I'm like, if it is connected to this somehow, I don't want to spoil myself, so yeah. So those are all the books I got for Christmas, and I'm really happy and thankful and excited to get to reading these books in 2017. Oh my god, it's 2017. So let me know in the comments down below if y'all have read any of these books that I showed you. So thanks for watching. I'm on Twitter, Goodreads, and Instagram at Jessyswondrland, same way spelled here on YouTube. And yeah, so thanks for watching. Like and subscribe, y'all, more videos by me, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!